House hacking can be a very effective approach for those attempting to achieve financial independence or simply improve their present condition. Because housing is the single highest expense for the average household, reducing it can be quite beneficial when it comes to wealth creation. The average household spends 33% of their income on this single category, which can quickly swallow a sizable chunk of your budget. Some people spend even more, making their homes poorer by spending most of their money on their homes and leaving little for other needs. Fortunately, there are efficient strategies you may adopt to remove this expense, freeing up funds for debt repayment, investing, or traveling. Are you one of the millions who live in a high-cost housing environment and believe that house affordability is simply out of reach? Would you like to be a homeowner but recognize that doing so would put a strain on your housing budget? Learn how you can live for free and relax while someone else pays your mortgage or rent each month. Watch to the end to see how skilled investors are making big sums of money with their property in ways you may not have considered. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. House hacking is when you own a home and rent out the space that isn't being used. The rent generated can often cover or even exceed the cost of home ownership. For example, if your monthly housing cost is $2,000, charging $2,000 a month for your extra room could allow you to live in that property for free. There are many versions of this method that bring different benefits to different people, but there are plenty of possibilities to accommodate a wide range of lifestyles and interests. So finding one that works for you shouldn't be a problem. When people hear this statement, they usually think of owning a multifamily building, a duplex, a triplex, or something greater. An investor might want to buy a house with multiple units and rent out the others for a long time while keeping one apartment for themselves. Your neighbors pay rent every month, which you can use to pay your mortgage taxes, insurance, and other home ownership charges. And you should have some money left over. The greater the number of dwellings in the structure, the greater the profit potential. This strategy is ideal for those who want to make consistent monthly rent payments with little uncertainty. However, not everyone wants to live on the same property as their tenants, which could be difficult to adjust to. Another option for multifamily housing is to rent out your spare flats on a temporary rather than a monthly basis. This is a good alternative for people who own property in an urban location near attractions or in a vacation destination where tourists will flock. Listing the property for rent on Airbnb would bring in nightly guests who may stay for a week or just one night. Depending on your location and property type, the earning potential could be substantially larger than long-term renting. There will be several managerial chores required, such as cleaning, stockings, and receiving guest feedback. But the extra revenue can be sufficient to let you quit your full-time job in some situations. Many people have been able to quit their jobs and almost retire due to a single successful short-term rental. It isn't necessary to have a large multifamily property to produce rental income, making it simple for individuals wishing to house hack on a budget. If you have an extra room in your house, this could be a good opportunity to find a tenant. Many tenants prefer to rent a single room in someone's home rather than a whole house or apartment. This is frequently much more cost-effective. Renting depends on your home and location. One room could bring in $500 to $1,000 per month or more. Even better, renting out many rooms might bring in a lot of money to help you pay for your rent. You don't have to own the property all of the time. Landlords are sometimes willing to sublet if they know the rent will be paid and their property will be well maintained. Consider taking in a roommate if you have a friend or family member who is looking for a place to live. Since Airbnb became popular, renting out a room in your home on a short-term basis has also grown in popularity. While some may find it strange because the common area is generally shared, others appreciate the opportunity to meet guests who will only be staying in their home for a short time. The pay varies a lot, but it's a good way to make $100 or more per day. While maintaining a short-term rental is still necessary, it may be easier to do so while living in the unit. When you clean one room by yourself, it usually doesn't take long, and it's simple to restock and keep track of items. It may take some time to get used to having a revolving door of tenants in your house, but it may be desirable so that you're not stuck with the same roommate if they're tough to live with. You also don't have to rent to someone every night. You could only rent on weekends, holidays, or other high-demand evenings when you can charge a higher rate. Another way to make money from where you live is to buy a house that has the potential to grow in value. Most of the time, this takes the form of a fixer-upper in need of some TLC. Because most home buyers look for turnkey properties, you can usually get a good deal on an old house that needs some TLC. Of course, you'd have to buy it for a low enough price that you can make a profit after making necessary repairs and improvements. For example, if a house is worth $500,000 when fixed up, but needs $50,000 in repairs and renovations, you'd want to buy it for $400,000 or less, leaving you with a $50,000 profit. In general, mortgage taxes, insurance, repairs, and all other associated fees on a $500,000 home would equal $3,000 every month. A $50,000 equity investment would basically represent more than 16 months of your entire home costs. Other than renting out a room or a whole apartment, there are other ways to earn rental revenue from your property. Renting out extra space for others to store their belongings can also be profitable. An extra garage space is ideal for someone who owns seasonal recreational vehicles, such as ATVs, snowmobiles, boats, or even an antique car, but lacks the capacity to store them. Someone who lives in a small apartment and has nowhere to put their Christmas decorations and extra clothes will appreciate basement storage. Perhaps you have a huge, dry attic that you don't use and could rent to someone you know. Even a parking spot on the street that you don't need can be in high demand. Some investors who are innovative and think beyond the box are reaping tremendous rewards. Those who own a home with extra yard space may find that creating a short-term rental experience is a fantastic option. This is a great way to help with housing bills, especially if you have a lovely position with a view of a water feature or forested area. People are finding success renting various sleeping locations outside of their homes, as opposed to the traditional bedroom or residence. This may be a modest shed-style residence with a kitchenette, a grilling camper, a tent, or simply a camping space with a fire pit and a relaxing setting. Urban dwellers seek out these rustic experiences and are willing to pay a relatively high price for them. Guests typically pay roughly what a hotel in the area would charge for an event like this. Despite the fact that a hotel is plainly more luxurious, there is no private outdoor space to enjoy a bonfire barbecue. Peace and quiet in the appropriate situation, being inventive with this method, has shown to be highly profitable. Each type of house hacking has advantages and disadvantages. You should be able to find one that works for you and helps you pay for your accommodation from the many possibilities available to you. You can tell us in the comments section what you think about the tips we've provided. Will they go a long way to sorting out your finances? Please let us know. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if it was helpful. If you're new to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on your post notifications. See you next time.